Alright, so issue number 13 is out for Absolute Wonder Woman, and if you guys need a quick recap, back in the last issue, the battle between Diana and Queen Clea is finally over. Not only did Wonder Woman release everyone from the maze, but she also chose to spare Queen Clea and the remainder of her men and show them to freedom. That's right, they are now in the real world, and Diana is simply hoping Clea is not an actual villain and that maybe the maze drove her crazy, but if not, she's gonna wreak havoc on the planet. But that's not all that happened. See, the new Amazonian sister, Io, that Diana was able to find, was transported to Themyscira, and she was able to notify Queen Hippolyta that Diana is in fact alive. So Diana's true home now knows that she is lost and alive. Diana has spared Queen Clea and saved everyone from the maze, and there was a cliffhanger where we got the reveal of Absolute Zatanna, as she is told to kill Wonder Woman. So with everything that happened in the last issue, let's see what happens in this one. Start with Diana and Barbara talking about the concept of Themyscira, and how in Diana's mind it was always something that was ever changing. And honestly, her relationship with her true origin is a bit complicated, because the gods stopped Circe from directly saying the word Amazon. They did everything in their power to stop Diana from learning where she's from and from finding her sisters. I mean, Absolute Wonder Woman starts by her being sent to hell as an infant. But even then, Circe was very intelligent, finding different ways while teaching Diana to nudge her towards learning about Themyscira, towards learning about being an Amazon, on top of the fact that deep down, Diana knew there was something she was missing, something she had lost. And because of this unorthodox way of teaching Diana, to her, Themyscira isn't just one place. To her, it's ever changing. And just like every other person or being that encounters Diana, Barbara is completely in awe at the way she articulates herself and the way she sees things. But this beautiful moment is interrupted, because Diana asked Steve Trevor to hook up her new base of operations to international news, so whenever something threatens the planet, Diana is able to hear it and immediately jump into action. And what she hears is some unknown entity just destroyed a casino, so now it's time to find out what this is. And at lightning speeds, Diana shows up at Nevada, trying to figure out what exactly happened, but when she gets here, she can feel something in the air. And the more she investigates, the deeper she gets to the source of the destruction, the stronger this feeling gets. She can feel it's something desperate, something dark, and eventually, this being of pure energy reveals itself and attacks Diana. And we learn something very interesting about whatever this is. Simply being in proximity of it brings out the worst in you. It has caused Diana to be way more aggressive than usual, immediately reaching for an axe and delivering a killing blow. Or at least it would have been if it wasn't made of pure energy. And she realizes this is not something she would do, as she's trying to figure out if this creature is bringing the rage out from inside her, or is it forcing some kind of darkness and madness upon her, as she does her best to de-escalate, which doesn't work, and it continues to attack Diana, only pissing her off further. And not only does being around this creature affect Diana mentally, but even when it screams, its effect only increases. Now, her feelings of fight or flight have been severely amplified. So amplified that it just stunned Diana. This thing has managed to actually overwhelm Absolute Wonder Woman, and as she sits there holding her head in pain, crying, it takes the opportunity to drop the building on her and run away. But because of these feelings of rage and madness that it has forced upon Diana, she gives in to her rage and chases it down, as she thinks to herself if this is what the creature wants. Is she falling into a plan, or even if this creature has plans at all? Maybe all of this is the creature simply acting on instinct. But eventually, Diana does unfortunately lose this thing, so when she gets back to base, she speaks to her friends as she lets them know she actually has no idea what this is. So far, when she runs into something, there's some kind of legend, a story that she read, or it's something from her mythology, but she doesn't know what it is. And as they all brainstorm, Steve is actually called back to base, but before he leaves, he does confirm with Diana that no one died in this battle. So now, with the time they have left, they need to try and do some research. And based on this research about the Amazonians and Themyscira, they were able to find out that Diana may be immortal. But before they can find out anything else that may be interesting about her people, another alert comes on, and Diana has to fight this creature again, and you can just see the look on her face that she does not want to do this. I think it's pretty obvious whatever that thing is very mentally draining, and she just got back. So once again at lightning speeds, now she's in Uruguay, ready to fight this thing again, as we see its destruction and a bunch of firefighters doing their best to put it all out. And Diana knows the creature is here, she can sense that signature darkness. But before finding the creature, Diana stops to help the firefighters, casting one of her spells to cause rain to drop right on top of the lighthouse, instantly putting the fire out. And after this, in Spanish, she asks them where the creature is. And once again, she's out investigating, trying to find it. but this time she tells herself no weapons. She knows the creature affects her negatively and she has to try and resist. But this is getting really difficult because it finds her, attacks her, and leaves. And we see Diana get really angry, smashing the ground, screaming out in rage. But it only gets worse. The moment she gets back home, she gets another alert. She's got to go to the Dominican Republic and fight it there. She touched down home again in Mexico, again in Hawaii. She keeps having to fight this thing as it says nothing, wreaks havoc on her mental and everyone else's, destroys everything around it, and simply leaves. Diana is getting very, very upset, very sick of this fight as it's bringing out the worst in her and she's learning absolutely nothing. Until now. Her friends were able to find out that everywhere she's meeting this creature, it's one of the ancient battlegrounds for an Amazonian. The only thing that doesn't fit this is the first place she fought it back in Reno, but the casino it destroyed was called Paradise Island, another word for Themyscira. So now that they finally understand something about this creature, they're going to try and anticipate where it will go next. And maybe finally Diana can figure out what exactly it's trying to do, what it wants, before it drives her mad. Now while her friends compile a list of possible locations where this monster may attack, Diana leaves to pray by herself. But Gia lets her know, magic always comes at a price, and the kind of magic Diana does, the price must be quite heavy. And I brought this up before in a lot of my stories that it feels like Diana can do anything. She just says a few words and whatever the story needs, she's got magic for it. So it's cool that they're finally acknowledging that maybe this does come at some kind of cost. Because outside of a few instances, I surely haven't seen one. Now it took a lot of work, but her friends were able to map out every single battle those Amazonians had, and it's dozens and dozens of places this creature could be. But eventually Diana does get another report. Now the creature is in Greece. And this is a place she's always wanted to go, just not under these circumstances, as we see the creature sitting here waiting for her. And this thing is seriously impossibly strong. It hits her one time and she's contemplating if this is the end of her life. If this is the end of absolute Wonder Woman, to be killed by some nameless creature. But she shakes this off, knowing this is what the creature does. It gets in your head. And with her finally focusing, it finally hits her. She knows what this thing is. Diana has figured it out. As she remembers what Gia told Barbara, all magic has a price, and the kind of magic Diana does, the price must be quite heavy. This creature is the price Diana is paying for all that OP magic she's been doing for 12 issues. The same thing I've low-key been complaining about because it felt like she could do anything at all times. As long as she's got magic stored up inside her, she seems like she can get out of any issue. But with a power so strong, that's why this creature is so damn powerful, seemingly unstoppable. The world is now paying a price for having Wonder Woman there to save it. And I absolutely love this idea. Now it feels like all my complaints were actually heard. Absolute Wonder Woman being so overpowered is the reason she's getting destroyed by this thing. The reason the world is suffering. There is a cost to being that OP. And I love it. Unfortunately, as this creature takes on the form of Wonder Woman, this is the end of the issue, so we don't get to see how this fight turns out. But I do have a theory before we get out of here. Absolute Zatanna was shown at the end of last issue. Do you guys think she's the one that somehow brought this creature forth? I know it's already being established that it's the cost for Diana using all that magic, but do you think it being summoned here is somehow Zatanna's doing? I just kind of wonder if she's connected to this in some way, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one.